What's good, YouTube? It's your boy DTom. You already know what time it is. It's reaction time, so let's get right into it. Today, I'm reacting to 5 NBA teams that wish they never traded. I know there's a lot of people like about the whole James Harden to the Rockets and all that. I know a lot of people like that's stupidest GM ever. And Kobe getting traded from the Hornets to the Lakers. People like I know they kicking themselves right now. I know it's a lot of trades people like that they wish they would have never happened, and it's a lot of possibilities and all that. It's a lot. So let's see some of them that some people forget about, some people may not know about. Let's see some of the trades that teams probably wish they never did. Let's see.
It is handles, and
Hey,
teams make deals all the time in the NBA. It's nothing
easy.
new to suggest that sometimes a trade will end up worse for one
See that
team
Kobe
than
trade?
another.
That Kobe
But a few
trade?
players in the history of the game should have never been traded in the first
Okay.
place. And to make this list a little bit more unique,
Hey,
instead of just putting
hey,
the same guys as
hey,
everyone does,
hey,
like Kobe
hey,
Bryant who's traded on
hey,
draft night, or
hey.
Kawhi Leonard, or
Okay.
just so much other players that were again traded on draft night, I'm making a rule that the players have to
I
actually
forgot
play
about
for
the
the
Kawhi
team
Leonard
and
trade.
was at best an average starter, a role player, or bench warmer for the team they previously played for. Since guys like Kobe, Kawhi, LaMarcus Aldridge, and others never even played in an NBA game yet, so there was no way of telling if they would actually become stars. Anyways, here are 5 players that teams wish they never traded and instead just gave them a bigger role. With the 17th overall pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Portland
Oh, that was a nice
Trailblazers went out
draft.
on a limb for an 18-year-old high school kid named Jermaine O'Neal. The
Okay.
talent was clearly there, but O'Neal spent 4 years on the bench for an insanely deep Blazers and could only average 3.9 points, 3.1 rebounds, and 11.5 minutes per game.
Yeah, he
He
went to the
spent an
Pacers
entire
and
4
became a
years on the
monster.
bench, and with those numbers and those minutes, you could guess he might have been out of the league had he not been traded, because he didn't seem like he would be anything more than a role player. So Portland traded him to the Indiana Pacers for 31-year-old center Dale Davis. While Davis was a solid player for the Blazers, O'Neal developed into an all-star in the very next season for the Pacers. He averaged 18.6 points and 9.6 rebounds over 8 seasons with the Pacers. I guess just a bigger role and more minutes was the key for Jermaine to become the all-star player he
That boy
was.
started eating.
The Oklahoma City Thunder drafted guard James Harden, number 3 overall, back in 2009. And for 3 seasons, he came off the bench, providing scoring for the team. He was a pretty good sixth man for the team and was a big part of how the Thunder ended up in the NBA Finals in 2012. In his last season with OKC, Harden averaged 16.8 points per game. But the Thunder didn't think Harden would become anything more than a sixth man and decided to trade him because they didn't want to offer him the max. And the Thunder traded him prior to the 2012-2013 NBA season, sending him to the Houston Rockets for a package draft picks and extra players that would eventually turn into Steven Adams. But the Thunder not deciding to offer him the max was the biggest mistake of the century, and he became a superstar in the very next season. In 5 All-Star seasons with Houston, Harden averaged 27.4 points, 7.4 assists, and 5.8 rebounds per game. And in this season specifically, he's averaging more than 11 assists per game. It's a big what if the Thunder had decided to keep James Harden. They could have been the very next dynasty. With the 24th pick in the 2006 NBA draft, the Memphis Grizzlies selected Kyle Lowry. Being a late first rounder, I don't think anyone expects you to perform that well, and Lowry became as expected of all late first rounders, an okay role player. He served as a backup point guard for the most of his career and struggled to average more than 10 points per game. He did do it on a few occasions though. And after bouncing from Memphis to Houston, the Rockets didn't believe that Lowry was a way to go and traded him to the Toronto Raptors for the 12th overall pick and Gary Forbes. While that pick turned out to be Steven Adams, who's a solid player, Lowry turned his entire career around, averaging 17.9 points and 7.4 assists in the year after being traded. He became an all-star level player and is now averaging more than 22 points per game and is a leader alongside DeMar DeRozan for the Toronto Raptors. That trade now seems like a bargain for the Raptors. The Phoenix Suns acquired the short point guard Isaiah Thomas from the Sacramento Kings in 2014 to become a spark plug off their bench. But with the point guards Eric Bledsoe and Brandon Knight already on the roster, it wasn't working midway through the next season. So the Suns sent Thomas to the Boston Celtics in exchange for essentially just guard Marcus Thornton and a first-round pick, which at the time didn't seem like that much of a bad deal since Thomas wasn't exactly known for the all-star player then as he is now. Thomas averaged 16.4 points off the bench for the Suns before being traded. While it was already a huge surprise that a 60th pick was producing so much, but when he came to Boston, and after receiving the starting role, Isaiah became a star. He went from a good six-man to an all-star player in a short period of time, and he's now averaging more than 28.9 points per game and is widely respected for what he's done, given his height and the fact that he was the last pick in the draft.
Yeah, for real,
Another bad trade from the franchise in Washington. And there are a few, but this one involved center Ben Wallace. The Wizards originally signed a defense-oriented big man after he went undrafted in 1996. They developed him as a quality reserve who rebounded and blocked shots. But after his third year with the Wizards, when Wallace averaged 6 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game, the Wizards traded him in a package deal to land uninspiring Orlando Magic center Isaac Austin. But in the next season, Wallace's blocks and rebounding numbers went up substantially after this trade, and he went on to play in 4 All-Star games, win 4 Defensive Player of the Year awards, and 1 NBA championship, all playing for the Detroit Pistons after being traded. He even averaged 15.4 rebounds per game during the 2002 to 2003 NBA season. This trade was definitely a huge bargain for the Detroit Pistons. And all these trades ended up becoming bargain sales, as each of these players ended up becoming all-star or even superstar level players. And generally from what I'm seeing, for these players to become for who they are known as now, was to just give them a bigger role and more minutes. And that exactly makes me think, what other players over the years had the talent to become an all-star, but were never given the chance and played their entire careers at just average or
I think
bench
Greg
work.
Oden would have been
Anyways, guys, those are 5 players
bro.
who became stars after being traded. Till next time,
injured.
I'm Handles, and I'm out.
Hey, go ahead and smash the like button of some of them trades that y'all seen in that video, or some of the trades y'all was thinking about, like, oh yeah, that was a bad trade, or whatever. Hey, make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you follow me on all my social media. The link will be in the description down below. Hey.